comfortable. But when it comes to doing breaststroke at a high level, there are so many nuances. So let's break down the arms and the legs and the head position and the breathing when it comes to breaststroke swimming. So let's focus first on the arms. Now, when it comes to breaststroke arms, I think we've all heard the term draw the pizza and cut it in half, but let's break that down in a lot more specifics. So as our arms shoot forward, it's really important that your hands and your fingers are together, almost in a diamond shape as we shoot forward into the water. The goal is to be a streamlined position, and this almost feels like you're cutting the water in half. So make sure you've got your fingers and hands together as we shoot forward into the stroke. So at the top of the stroke with your arms extended, I like to just allow my arms to float out slightly, just beyond the width of my shoulders. In this position, you'll notice my pinky fingers are pointing up and my thumbs are pointing down. This is really important because this is when you're going to get into that catch position. In this extended position, you're really going to now use a lot of power and strength in those arms, lats, forearms, keeping those fingers again nice and tight together to pull yourself up out of the water. Now, this is where it becomes really specific to you individually as a breaststroker. Some people like to pull their elbows right back to their ribs, while other people like to keep their stroke nice and short, only pulling them into their chest area. Whichever preference feels better for you, we still want to focus on the same components of really locking in those underarms, those lats, those pec muscles to pull our elbows nice and tight and in close to our body. And then as my hands connect, I really like to have my pinky fingers coming in connected together, palms facing up as I shoot forward into the stroke. Now, it's really important as you shoot forward into the stroke that you keep everything in the most streamlined position possible. When my arms are fully extended, that's when I like to rotate my hands back over, palms facing the bottom of the pool, and then I can get into the next stroke. So let's now bring our attention to the legs. Having good power in your breaststroke kick is really where you're going to get the most movement and the most forward action to your breaststroke stroke. So I really want to focus on a couple of key components here. So with your legs fully extended, the first thing we want to do is bend our knees and bring our heels right into our bottom. When our feet are as high up as possible, that's where we're going to turn out our ankles. Now, this turnout position is absolutely vital. I can't harp on about this enough. So we've brought our legs back into our bottom. We're going to rotate our ankles so that our feet are out in a frog-like position. From this position, we're really going to focus on getting a lot of power in our inner thighs, okay? Now, this is the key, really pushing them around in a circular motion, engaging those inner thighs and bringing them back down to an extended position. Now, what a lot of people miss in this last part of the kick, which is the most important part, is really focusing on bringing the feet right together at the end of the stroke. A lot of people don't finish the kick motion properly. They kick around and then let their feet and legs go like jelly. But what I want you to really focus on is kicking around and almost snapping those ankles together. Really snap those feet, lock on the inner thighs, and really bring them together as tightly and as sharp as possible. That's the real key here, guys. So a couple of drills you can really focus on to develop this motion and have good awareness of your legs in the breaststroke kick is by doing it on your back. So simply in the backstroke position, arms extended into a streamlined position, and we're going to just go through the breaststroke kicking motion. Now, what some of you will notice here is that your knees will break really far out of the water, and this is something we don't want to do. We want to make sure our knees are always under the surface of the water. So when we bring our feet back towards our bottom, really engage those hamstrings and make sure those knees don't break the surface of the water. When we're up in that position, really rotate those feet as we spoke about and really kick around with power, really focusing on snapping those feet together. Once we've nailed this on our back, then we can flip over onto our stomach and utilize a kickboard and really practice our breaststroke kick in this position. Again, really make sure that those feet don't break the surface of the water. All of this breaststroke kick should be done under the water, and at no point should you notice your feet or your knees or anything breaking the surface of the water. So really keep that in mind as you practice a couple of these drills, and I know this is definitely going to help you have a more effective, more efficient, and a better technique to your breaststroke kick. The last part of the breaststroke stroke I want to bring attention to is the head position. The only thing to really keep in mind here is to make sure that your head isn't dropping too low. Again, making sure the eyes are looking directly at the bottom of the pool, not back at your feet or your knees or at somebody swimming behind you. Really keep that head in line, in position. If your head drops too low, you're going to create a lot of drag and a lot of resistance to your breaststroke stroke. So simply just make sure your head is in alignment with your shoulders. It's not tilted too far forward or too far backwards. And that's really all you need to focus on when it comes to head position for breaststroke. I really hope some of these tips have helped you because this is the stroke that I've had to work the hardest on.
Proper kicking technique is critical to swimming the breaststroke. To ensure you're using correct technique, there are 3 critical points to cover: the recovery, the catch, and the propulsive phase. The recovery is the first phase of your kick. To begin, draw your heels up toward your glutes, while remembering to always keep your legs behind your hips. This will minimize resistance. Next comes the catch. At the top of the recovery, when your feet are near the surface, turn your toes outward so that the sole and the arch of the foot can grab at the water. Then flex the toes toward the knee and position your heels just under the surface of the water. Keep your knees close together during the catch, but move your feet apart and outside the line of your body to hold more water. The final stage of the breaststroke kick is the propulsive phase. Here, begin by keeping your heels just under the surface of the water as you push your feet straight back in an elliptical pattern around your knees. Use the insteps of your feet to sweep the water back, closing the legs and touching the big toes together to finish. Practice tip. A common struggle for athletes swimming the breaststroke is that their kick tends to be too big. To avoid this problem, try practicing your swim with a buoy between the thighs. This will help you keep your kick tight and narrow.
The correct body position allows you to become more streamlined, improving your efficiency in the water. To keep your body as straight as possible from your head to your hips, position your head facing forwards and tilted slightly downwards. Pull your stomach in, aiming to keep your back as straight as possible and your hips as close to the surface of the water as possible. Breathing technique delivers oxygen to your muscles and helps you to swim more comfortably and efficiently. As your arms start the pull phase, lift your head out of the water and breathe in through your mouth. Keep your head and shoulders relaxed and free from tension. As you extend your arms forward on the recovery phase, submerge your head into the water and exhale slowly through your nose or mouth. The stronger your kick technique, the more propulsion you will achieve and the faster you'll be able to swim as a result. Flex your foot, pulling your toes towards your shins at the start of the kick, while keeping your heels as close to your bottom as possible. As your legs extend outwards and backwards, push the water backwards with the soles of your feet to accelerate and propel your body forwards. Point your toes at the end of the kick. As your legs straighten and your ankles come together, aim to get the soles of your feet to face each other as much as ankle flexibility will allow. To complete the recovery phase of the kick, bend your legs, keeping your knees as close together as possible while bringing your heels up towards your bottom. Keep your body relaxed as you move through the stroke. A kickboard can be used to help isolate your legs in order to focus on your kick technique. How to improve your stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim. Extend your arms at the front of the stroke with your hands turned slightly outwards. Keeping your elbows high, sweep your arms outwards, focusing on catching as much water as possible with your hands. Accelerate your arms backwards, continuing your hold on the water until your hands and forearms sweep inwards in front of your body. With your elbows tucked in, extend your arms to the front of the stroke, keeping them as close together as possible. Finger paddles can be used to help focus on improving your